It is 7:22 on a Wednesday morning. You are sitting with a cup of tea, still too hot to drink, staring at a number on your phone that should not feel the way it feels. Checking, $247. Savings, $0. You earn $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month gross. After taxes, you take home roughly $3,800. Your fixed costs, rent at $1,200, car payment and insurance at $500, groceries at $450, utilities and phone at $350, health insurance at $200, plus the minimum debt payment of $100, add up to $2,800. Before you make a single choice, $3,800 minus $2,800 leaves $1,000. $1,000 of breathing room. And yet, here you are, checking $247, savings $0. Where did it go? Here is something nobody tells you about the average American paycheck. Subscriptions eat $219 a month on average. Streaming services. That app you downloaded for the free trial in March. The gym membership last used in October. The cloud storage you forgot was attached to a card you no longer check. Delivery apps and takeout take another $100 to $150. The convenience store run, $14 a pop, 3 times a week, invisible because it is never a bill, always just a tap, adds up to $168 a month without your attention ever landing on it. The coffee, the impulse Amazon purchase while waiting in line. The subscription box that arrives so regularly, you stop noticing it was even a charge. Across 3 months of bank statements, the average American finds between $300 and $400 a month that left without their consent, just inattention. Little leaks, death by 1,000 taps. The personal savings rate in America right now sits at 3 to 4%. Most people are one alternator failure, one emergency room visit, one bad month away from breaking even. Not because they earn too little, because the leaks are designed to be invisible. The system profits from your inattention. You are not bad with money. You are operating inside a machine optimized to extract every loose dollar before it becomes savings. And the math, once you see it, is how you break free. So let's break it right now. Open your last 3 months of bank statements. Not the dashboard, not the balance, the line items, every single charge. You are looking for 3 categories. Category 1, subscriptions you forgot you had. Cancel them. All of them. The average person recovers $80 to $120 right here. Category 2, delivery and takeout that became a habit rather than a choice. Cut it in half. You still eat. You just stop paying a 30% premium for someone to bring it to your door 3 times a week. That recovers $60 to $80. Category 3, the small daily taps. Coffee, convenience store, vending machine, impulse online checkout. Track them for 1 week. Just knowing they are being counted reduces them by roughly 30%. That recovers $40 to $60. Across all 3 categories, you just recovered $300 to $350 a month from 0 additional effort, from 0 additional income, just awareness. Now open a high-yield savings account at a bank separate from your checking. No debit card attached, no app on your phone, a 48-hour transfer delay built in, so the money is not available in the moment a craving hits. This is not inconvenience. This is architecture. You are designing a system that protects you from yourself. Route every canceled expense here. That $300 to $350 now flows automatically into an account you cannot touch impulsively. At $350 a month, you build $2,100 in 6 months. Your first $2,000, cash, liquid, yours. But $2,100 is not $10,000. And $10,000 is the first real threshold. The emergency fund that means a car repair stays a car repair instead of a credit card balance at 28% interest. To reach $10,000 faster, you need a bigger hose. You cannot outsave a small income. But you can stop the leaks long enough to build a bigger pipe. Fix the margin first, then fix the income. In that order. Within the next 12 months, push your income from $60,000 to $72,000. That is a 20% raise, roughly $1,000 more per month gross. If you are salaried, document every project outcome, Every dollar you saved the company, every process you improved. Put it on one page. Research what your role pays at competing firms. Walk into the conversation with evidence and a number. Calmly. You are not begging, you are informing them of your market value. If your employer cannot meet it, interview elsewhere. You now have a small buffer. You can afford to wait for the right offer. If you are hourly or freelance, add a side stream, evening work, weekend consulting, tutoring, bookkeeping, delivery. Skills you already have that someone will pay for starting this week. Target $800 to $1,200 a month in additional income. Here is the math once the upgrade lands. At $72,000 a year, your monthly gross rises to $6,000. Take home roughly $4,400. Your fixed costs, with 1 year of 5% inflation, have moved from $2,800 to $2,940. The gap between your $4,400 take-home and $2,940 expenses is $1,460. Combined with the $350 you recovered from canceled leaks, you are now saving roughly $1,800 a month. At $1,800 a month, the remaining $8,000 of your emergency fund builds in under 5 months. You now have $10,000 in time, sitting in a high-yield savings account, earning roughly 4% interest, or completely liquid, completely separate from your checking. One alternator failure, one deductible, one bad month. None of it touches credit card debt. The buffer absorbs it. The buffer is the wall. This $10,000 never gets invested. It never leaves that account. Its only job and its entire purpose is to stand between you and anything that would force you to sell investments or take on high-interest debt. Most people never build this wall. They invest before they buffer. Then the market dips, the car breaks, and they sell at a loss to cover a repair that should have been a non-event. The wall prevents that. The wall is non-negotiable. Now open a brokerage account. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab. It does not matter which. Choose a low-cost total market index fund or an S&P 500 index fund. Expense ratio under 0.05%. Something that has averaged 8 to 10% annually going back nearly a century. Something boring. Boring is the point. Set up an automatic transfer. The day after payday, every dollar above your $10,000 buffer leaves your checking account and lands in the brokerage. You buy the same fund every month, whether the market is up, down, or sideways. When prices drop, your fixed dollar amount buys more shares. When prices rise, it buys fewer. This is dollar cost averaging, and over decades it smooths volatility into a steady upward climb without you ever timing a single trade. But here is the move that accelerates everything. Your income must rise again. You have been at $72,000 for roughly 18 months. You have documented output. You have solved problems your job description never mentioned. You have saved someone above you time they did not have. Package that. Present it. Push from $72,000 to $88,000. That is another 22% jump, roughly $1,300 more per month gross. At $88,000 a year, your monthly gross is $7,333. Take home roughly $5,300. Your fixed costs, now with 2 years of 5% inflation, have moved from $2,800 in year 1 to $2,940 in year 2 to $3,087 in year 3. Your rent crept up with the market. Your grocery bill adjusted. Your utilities rose. But you kept pace and nothing more. The lifestyle stayed frozen. Only the inflation adjustment got through. $5,300 take-home minus $3,087 in expenses leaves $2,113. Every dollar of it goes to the index fund. Automatic. Same day every month. Now the compounding math begins to show its weight. You have roughly $25,000 already sitting in the brokerage from your previous years of contributions. That $25,000 earns 8%, $2,000 a year, while you continue adding $2,113 a month in new money. After 12 months, $25,000 in new contributions plus $2,000 in returns plus the existing balance. Your portfolio crosses $52,000. The next year, another $25,000 in contributions. The base is now larger, So 8% returns on roughly 52,000 produce over $4,000. Your portfolio crosses 81,000. The curve bends upward. The year after, the base is 81,000. 8% produces $6,500 in returns. Your contributions add another 25,000. You cross $113,000. Some of the money at the bottom of that total is not money you earn. It is money your money earned while you were sleeping, while you were working, while you were sitting at the kitchen table with the same cup of tea, wondering if any of this was going to work. Your expenses will always expand to fill the space you give them. The freeze is not deprivation. It is refusing to let your lifestyle consume your future before your future arrives. But at every stage, something else is happening that the numbers alone do not capture. At year 2, when you hit 72,000, your coworkers notice you are not upgrading. They lease cars on $65,000 salaries. They finance vacations. They ask why you are still living like you make 60,000 when you clearly do not. The pressure does not shout. It whispers. One dinner will not matter. One weekend trip will not matter. You have earned this, and individually they do not matter. But the cost is not in the dinner. The cost is in what the dinner starts. A pattern, an expectation, a version of your life where every raise is absorbed before it can compound. Expenses creep from $2,900 to $3,200, then to $3,600. Your income climbs and your savings rate goes flat because every increase found a matching increase in outflow. You have watched this happen to people you respect. Smart people, people who earn more than you and are still stretched thin at 31 because the raise was absorbed before it could become anything else. There is a moment now between wanting something and doing anything about it. A pause. In that pause, you ask yourself, does this move me closer to the thing I am actually building, or does it just make today feel a little easier? The answer either comes clean or it does not. When it does not, you close the tab. Pour more tea. Nobody notices. Nobody congratulates you. The transfer still fires on the first of the month. That is the entire discipline. Not willpower. Architecture. The transfer fires regardless of how you feel. The money leaves before the temptation arrives. You designed the system to work without your daily cooperation. Because your daily cooperation is unreliable. Everyone's is. That is not weakness. That is human. Good systems account for it. Willpower is a battery. Systems are a machine. The battery dies by Tuesday. The machine runs for years. At $100,000, something shifts that the chart does not show. Take 90,000 and keep it in the index fund, still compounding at 8 to 10%. Keep 10,000 in PUM, the emergency fund, the wall that got you here. You are still saving roughly $25,000 a year. Your investments earn roughly $8,000 a year on the base alone. Combined, your net worth grows by over $30,000 annually. Without you working harder, without you earning more, just time, just the machine. But here is what the numbers do not capture. At $100,000, the financial system begins to treat you differently. Banks offer you better rates. Lenders see you as low risk. You become eligible for asset-backed lines of credit, borrowing against your portfolio at rates far lower than any credit card or personal loan. You can access capital without selling a single share. Your money stays invested, keeps compounding at 8 to 10%, and the bank lends against it because your assets are now collateral. The wealthy do not sell, they borrow against. And at $100,000, that door cracks open for the first time. That is the next journey. 100,000 to 1 million. Portfolio lines of credit, leverage strategies, how to use borrowed capital to acquire income-producing assets while your core portfolio compounds untouched. The full breakdown, every strategy, every number. Same model, just bigger moves. If you want that video, hit subscribe. Here is what nobody tells you about building the first $100,000 from a $60,000 salary. It is not about the money, it is about proof. Proof that the math works if you let it. Proof that you can freeze your lifestyle for roughly 4 years and the world does not end. Proof that $350 in canceled leaks plus 2 income upgrades plus the discipline of never letting expenses rise faster than inflation produces a number that once seemed imaginary. You started with $247 in checking and nothing in savings. The average American savings rate hovered around 3%, and you were part of that statistic. The tea was too hot, and the screen said what it had said for months. You found the leaks. You canceled them. You built the wall. You pushed your income from 60,000 to 72,000 to 88,000. And every time your expenses moved only with inflation, 2,800 to 2,940 to 3,087. The gap widened. The index fund filled, and roughly 4 years later, you crossed $100,000. Not through luck, not through inheritance, not through a viral business, through a sequence of moves anyone can make if they are willing to be patient when patience is boring. Cancel the invisible subscriptions. Automate the transfers before the temptation arrives. Push income with documented evidence. Freeze the lifestyle. Let compounding do what compounding does, quietly, in the background, for years. None of this felt like progress while it was happening. The transfer on the first of the month. The repair bill that stayed a repair bill instead of a credit card balance at 28%. The trip you did not take. The raise you asked for with a one-page document in a calm voice. Each one felt like a small decision made in an ordinary moment. That is exactly what it was. That is exactly what it is. You close the laptop. You pour another cup. The number will not make tomorrow easier. But tomorrow is building something. The machine runs without you. That was always the point for the 100,000 to 1 million journey, asset-backed lines of credit, portfolio leverage, in the threshold where the bank starts courting you. Hit subscribe.